Fire everyone is what I should say. I know that Mark Davis doesn't have the stones to fire anyone based on what I've seen. But what I see right now is a football team that looks like it's coached by Josh McDaniels and Antonio Pierce, a team that's got no heart. Honestly, a team that's got no balls, and if there's a Raiders player that's upset with that, you can find me at Mitchell Renz 365, but this is one of the worst Raiders teams that I've seen in a long time. We are 1-4. A team that did not show you anything at special teams. A team that didn't show you any heart on defense. A team that didn't show you any heart on offense. And, I used to always say teams that don't have an identity, it starts at the top. I think this Raiders coaching staff is failing at just an unimaginable rate, quite frankly. I know Pete Carroll is a professor. I think Pete Carroll really should look at himself in the mirror and be like, if this is what I'm teaching my guys, maybe it's time for me to hang it up. 74 years old, I'm at such a loss for words based on what I saw today because this was a must-win football game. You were 1-3. This is the most important game of your season. And I know, no Brock Bowers, no Eric Stokes, no Jermaine Pratt, no Michael Mayer. There was definitely some players that were missing. No Colt Miller. Again, I totally get it. But from a coaching standpoint, we've totally went away from what was working early on. We continue to just do a soft zone coverage defense, which against the Indianapolis Colts is the definition of just idiotic. I have a hard time understanding the Raiders' issues here because, honestly, you look at this 40-6 game, I want to know what's your one-word reaction to this Raiders loss. My one-word reaction is lost. Players look lost. Coaches look lost. Me as a fan, I'm lost right now. And I'm lost right now because this coaching staff, I think, thought their shit was too good. I think Pete Carroll thought he was too good to be true. I think John Spytek thought he was too good to be true. We look like a team right now that thought that their shit didn't stink and thought that we could sleepwalk into an NFL season and have a lot of money in free agency but not spend any of it. Have 11 draft picks and decide to piss them away. We're a team right now that's building for the future, yet there's not a single coach on this staff right now that makes me believe in the future. There's not a player that we drafted outside Ashton Jeanty that makes me believe that we're moving in the right direction in terms of future. And then we had a guy like Pete Carroll tell us, oh, no, we're trying to win right now. We're trying to win football games. Yet the team that you put on the field with all the money that we had in free agency, you didn't put enough talent on the field. This is a coaching staff. This is a team that looks unbelievably lost. And I'm sorry, the Geno Smith experiment's got to stop. He sucks. Geno, you suck. If you don't like me, again, I'm not hiding from anybody. Geno, you don't allow me to tag you on stuff anymore. Why? Maybe you should sack up a little bit, and maybe this team should sack up a little bit and carry a little bit more pride wearing that Raiders jersey, because right now what it looks like is a bunch of millionaires that are just cashing in checks. And if that's what the Raiders are anymore, like, Mark, that starts with you. Maybe it's time for you, Mark, to turn it in because, right now, Pete Carroll's never been this bad. Geno Smith's never been this bad. Gardner Minshew was terrible last season, never that bad. Antonio Pierce was a joke of a hire. Josh McDaniels, Jimmy Garoppolo. To me, people come to the Raiders as a laughingstock. And I'm done being the laughingstock. I'm done being a doormat. I'm done being what the Raiders are right now. And, Mark, I know you're making a lot of money, but I also don't want you to piss away everything that your dad built. I don't want the Raiders to turn into a laughingstock. And I think if you're a Raiders fan right now, if you go to that game against the Tennessee Titans next week, excuse my language, you're a fucking idiot. And there is not a chance in hell I would give my money to the Raiders. Not a chance in hell. If that game was free, I'd consider it. But the amount of money that it costs to go to Vegas, the amount of money that hotels are right now, if we're talking about what we're paying for the product, would Mark, Pete, Spytek, to all those millionaires that showed up and played there today, would you pay right now, I don't know, $1,000 for some Walmart brand purse, for a Walmart brand? Because I saw the Raiders, they were cool enough today to tweet out, oh, all of our outfits are game day outfits. It seems like we care more about what our game day outfit's going to be than what our game day performance is. Would you spend $1,000 on any outfit you got from Walmart? The answer to that is no. Just like to any Raiders fan. Would you spend $1,000 to go watch this Raiders team play? I mean, it's asinine to think that. if you guys want to get your grades in for the Geno Smith performance, it's an F. It's an F all across the board. Quite frankly, I think if we didn't get a million Fs on this show, I feel like I did a bad effing job as a Raiders Report host. Because think about all the games throughout the past few years of just unbelievably bad games. That game's up there with the top of them. And I think about the Raiders getting blown out against the Jets 34-3. I think about the Raiders getting blown out to Atlanta, which might have been 40-6. What's hard to understand is in the most important game of the season, that's the performance you give. And if that's the performance we're given, either our players don't believe in our coaches don't know our players, or we're just in way over our head. And there's no other answer, because this isn't a one-game problem. Go back and look at how we ever beat the Patriots. I have no effing idea. Game against the Chargers, frickin' disgrace. Game against the Commanders, frickin' disgrace. Game against the Bears, you finally played well enough, but your quarterback turned the ball over 3 times. Disgrace. This game, disgrace. We look like the worst team in the NFL. And we're 1-4 right now, and we're lost. And I'm lost. And I know I'm not the only one that's lost right now. I mean, luckily, Jeanty, glass half full, early on in that game, thought he looked good. I don't know why Chip Kelly doesn't want to give the ball to Ashton Jeanty. I don't know why Chip Kelly, because honestly, Chip Kelly's acting a lot like the Eagles' Chip Kelly, where he just thought he was the smartest man in the room and didn't want to listen to anybody else. Like, Jordan Meredith was bad today. Why isn't JPJ playing center? I don't know. Our coaches apparently know better than everybody else out there. But, even Chip, heard what you said about JPJ earlier this week. Like, if I was a Raiders player, I wouldn't doubt that some of those guys are giving up on this coaching staff. For JPJ, earlier this week, Chip Kelly was like, oh, JPJ's head's too big. I don't know why Raider Nation loves JPJ. Why do I love JPJ? Because that guy plays his flipping tail off every single snap. Because JPJ cares about being a Raider. Why? I want our coaches to care about being a Raider. And I know this has been a long tangent, probably of a bunch of nothing, but guess what? I just watched 60 minutes of a bunch of nothing. There's nothing that I can take away from this game. There was nothing that we put on tape as a team that we can look forward and look to improve on going into next week. When you put a game out there like that, it is a waste of everybody's time. There is nothing more important in everybody's life than time. And when you waste my time, Pete, when you waste my time, Chip, when you waste my time, Spytech, when you waste my time, Mark, when you waste my time to every single Raiders player that played in that game today, I'm done, man. Like, I'm not going to go full meow mix, and quit on all y'all. I'm never going to give up. But Raider Nation deserves better. And not even better, we deserve average. We deserve good. What we're getting right now it's a disgrace. I mean, I feel like right now I'm in a relationship where my significant other has cheated on me 10 times. And you know what? I'm still going to show up next week. Why? Because that's what Raider Nation does. Raider Nation shows up, and I'm never scared of Raider Nation giving up. And I mean this right now. If you're a Raiders fan and you're watching this show right now and you're just like, I don't know what the hell that was, and you're just laughing. Because I feel like right now a parent, where I gave the example earlier, my dog Chuck, I took him out for a walk 2 days ago, and he took a shit. And he started walking around sniffing, and he stepped in that shit. I looked at him, and I'm like, what are you doing, right? I think as a parent, you probably look at your kids once in a while, and you're like, what are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. That's how I feel right now as a Raiders fan, where I look at this game, 40-6, and the entire game, I'm like, what are you doing? And that's frustrating. I feel like I'm babysitting. I do feel like I know this team better than this coaching staff, and if there's any players, if there's any coaches, if there's anybody out there that feels some type of way, you're doing a shit job. You know where to find me. I'm not hiding from any of you. Quite frankly, I wish there would be a few Raiders players, a few Raiders coaches, a few people in that organization that would chirp back at me, because that would at least mean that you give a shit. Because what I see right now is a team that doesn't give a shit. I want y'all to chirp back at me, but I don't think that y'all have the balls to do it. I don't think there's a single Raiders player that has the balls to chirp back at me. I don't think there's a single Raiders coach that has the balls to chirp back at me. I don't think that there's a single person inside that organization that has the balls to chirp back at me. Why? Raider Nation has my back. And if you do it, get ready. We're going to be loud. Because I promise you this, if you think I've been loud before, get ready for this week. It's going to be loud. Really loud. Like Oakland tailgate type of loud. Let's go to our sponsor here. Shout out to Prize Picks. Easy, exciting, daily fantasy sports made easy. You and I make decisions every single day. But on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. And I don't want you to miss any of the excitement this football season. Why? Prize Picks is simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you could cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks is also the best way to get action in sports in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. To Blaine Craig, to Charles Lewis, to Joseph, I hear y'all, and I am just as frustrated as each and every one of y'all. Also, Broncos just got a win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Wild stuff there. Prize Picks, best place to cash in while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Now, even though my lineup was not right today, it is what it is. Honestly, audio blocks, you could put 40% on the blame on me. At this point, it's easier to blame me than it is to blame the Raiders at this point. Here are my 5 biggest takeaways, though, from this football game. The first takeaway, this team sucks. We suck on offense. We suck on defense. We suck on special teams. We suck as a team. We suck as a coaching staff. We suck as an organization. I don't know how else you put it. Besides that, if you have any confidence in this Raiders team, you might be more drunk than me right now. But when you fail over and over and over again, and this, let's face it, this team has failed in multiple weeks. They have. I think 1 week, maybe 2, I could sit back and go, we were properly prepared. We were ready to go. I don't know what we do. What do you guys do all week at practice? I'm actually curious. Do you finger paint? Underwater basket weaving? Because they can't be playing football. Because if you guys are doing football activities and you're getting paid the amount of money that you're doing, it blows my mind they can be this bad and get paid that much. I can't even believe it. Can't even believe it, quite frankly. Coaching staff sucks. It's trash. And the only reason why I say it, and again, I want to sit up here and say I believe in Pete Carroll. I don't know how anybody can say they believe in Pete Carroll. I don't know how anybody can say they believe in Chip Kelly, because Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll have proven to me week in and week out that you guys are too proud, whatever the hell's going on in your head right now. It reminds me of, how do I say this? I love my grandfather, and he unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But my grandfather, the older and older he got, the more I was he would say things, and I'd be like, man, that's a crazy thing to say. That's a hard thing to be able to defend, right? And we all have, I think, that person that it's in our life, and at some point you're like, do you take away that driver's license? Do you take away their – because right now I'm looking at what Pete Carroll's doing to this Raiders team, and I'm like, do you take away – I get it, Pete. You've done a lot of great things, but you're 74 years old. You shouldn't be driving anymore. And it's cool to say compete. If your whole mantra is compete, and that's the game that I got, what are you teaching, right? If I'm showing up for math class every day, and yet you're teaching me the opposite of math, I don't know what it is, because right now what I saw on tape, the opposite of compete, and you got to sit there and go, if that's your mantra, what are you teaching? If I was a student right now listening to what Pete Carroll's teaching, I would reconsider taking classes, because I'm this guy might have lost it. I don't know. I can't believe how bad this coaching staff is. To me, then, is it bench Geno time? And sure, let's do it. I don't care. If it's Kenny Pickett, I don't think it makes a difference. If it's Aiden O'Connell, I don't know if it makes a difference. But Geno Smith, to me, has clearly shown you that this guy is folding like a lawn chair. That Geno Smith must take shits while his legs crossed. That I don't know, because I thought I was going to get a Geno Smith that was a tough mental quarterback. Geno Smith is as soft can be right now. He's not seeing open guys. He's not throwing guys open. He's just folded, and he's just not a mentally strong quarterback right now. And it sucks to say that because I was all for Geno Smith. It's hard to rip a man's character that I've never shaken hands with, and I hate that I'm doing it right now. But when you watch Geno Smith, he looks terrified. He looks like a quarterback that should be playing for an FCS team going up against a Power 5 school on the road in Indianapolis. He's shaking. He's shitting bricks. And I've seen it time and time and time and time again that Geno Smith ain't it. And I'm done with the Geno Smith experiment. And I don't believe in Geno. I don't know how any Raider fan could possibly believe in Geno. Pete Carroll, though, he's going to sit up there and be like, oh, why does Geno have to compete? Because, again, this coaching staff picks favorites, and they're picking favorites like some high school bullshit, and we look like a high school football team right now. My next thing, you can't tell me this team didn't give up. And if Max, if this coaching staff, if all these guys, if they look at me and they go, we didn't give up, then you're not good enough to play in the NFL. If the team that we saw today didn't give up, a lot of those players, you're not good enough to play in the NFL. Go find something else to do. But to me, I think it's actually easier for the team to go, we gave up on this coaching staff because this coaching staff sucks. We gave up because we knew that we're not going to win this game and we're trying to tank. To me, those are two easier excuses than you looking at me telling me we didn't give up. Because if you're telling me you didn't give up and that's the talent we have out on the football field, what did we do in all of the offseason? What did we do with all this free agent money? What did we do in the draft? Like, I don't know what you did. Because what you're doing right now is so clearly wrong. And if the coach wasn't Pete Carroll, we'd be sitting up here saying, fire everyone. This team was better with Antonio Pierce. This team was better with Josh McDaniels. Think about that, Mark. Think about it, Mark. Think about it. I need you to think about it. It's important for you to think about it. And then here in the last, I just had to throw one together. We don't have a secondary. It's just clear as day. We have a bunch of linebackers that can't cover. We got a bunch of corners that can't cover. We got a bunch of guys in the secondary that can't cover. And you're going to look at this 40 burger that we gave up, and you're not going to win many games giving up 40. You're not going to win many games scoring 6, but we're just using so many players just improperly. We're just clearly we're not preparing our players in the right way. We just kept doing soft zone coverage against Indy over and over and over again, made absolutely positively no adjustments. And we just have a very stubborn coaching staff right now that thinks their shit doesn't stink. We have so many holes on both sides of the football, and Pete and John must know that their job is safe. Again, I was told by a very good source, the biggest source, quite frankly, that Spytek and Pete are safe. They're coaching like they know that they can't lose their job. They're coaching right now like there's two guys that you just employed that imagine, let's call this KFC, because quite frankly, our coaching staff looks like they are probably better off at KFC. You're at a KFC right now, and the guys that you're employing are just not showing up to work. They're not showing up. They're showing up late. They're showing up lazy. They're not doing their job. But because they are their name, I don't know, because they are, it's like the coach's kid or whatever, you're just keeping them employed. Just keep them employed. Just keep them employed, Mark. You're literally throwing millions of dollars out the window. To the Raider fans out there, I hope that you guys don't continuously throw out money out the window. I'll tell you this right now. You couldn't pay me to go watch this team play. And if you're a frustrated Raiders fan, I hope that you pull up here to the Raiders Report every single game day because we're going to have fun. Promise you that. We're going to have fun. I don't know how many beer bongs we've done tonight. I don't know how many boots we're going to do tonight. But if you feel like me where you're just like, you just got to laugh. That's how I look at it. You just got to laugh. If you can watch that Raiders game and you're upset with yourself, I think at this point, why be upset about something that you knew was going to happen? I tweeted out earlier this morning, the Raiders will not ruin my Sunday. The Raiders will not ruin my Sundays anymore. The Raiders will not ruin game days for me anymore. I am going to rely on Raider Nation to always bring that energy because I promise you this. If you're down on game day to have a good time, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and if you don't know, this is what I'm going to be live the rest of the week. I'm also down. I'm going to give you guys a deal. If you want to do Dodgers watch parties, I'm down to do Dodgers watch parties. I know that not everybody's a Dodgers fan here. I will give you a deal tomorrow. If you want me to do Dodgers watch parties, make sure you pull up tomorrow when I go live earlier in the day at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and make sure you pull up, especially for Monday Night Football. It's F the Chiefs. I'm always going to root against the Chiefs. If you want me to go live for Dodgers games, show up tomorrow, Monday Night Football, because I'll tell you this, I love my job. I love Raider Nation. I love hanging out with all y'all. I love being able to create content, but I like being able to create content that makes me happy. And I want to create more content that makes me happy. And I'm not kidding you. I'll be able to talk to my bosses. You want me to go live for a Dodgers game? I'll go live for a Dodgers game. That just means it's going to be one less video that I get during the week for a Raiders. Like, I don't know. If you don't want to see Raiders winners and losers, Mitch, they're all losers. I don't blame you. They're all losers. Let's do an extra Dodgers game. Like, this is me being as 100% authentic and as honest as I possibly can with you. And I need y'all to be able to bring that exact same excitement. That's how I'm going to leave it. That's how I'm going to end it. Raiders lose 40-6. My instant reaction is this team sucks. This team's soft. This team has no identity. This team is embarrassing. But I'm not going to give up on Raider Nation, and I hope that they don't give up on me. But I'm hurting right now. I'm hurting right now. Because this football team it's sucking the life out of me.